Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on World Water Day 2024 by IMCS International Movement of Catholic Student Asia Pacific. I'm Rakaratri Daru from Bangladesh, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. We are very glad to have all of you for joining us from different parts of the world. As climate, today our theme is water peace. As climate is changing due to our selfish and careless activities, water crisis has become one of the most serious environmental related issues that we are facing today. As the rhyme of Asian mariner goes, water, water everywhere, not a single drop to drink, we are at the verge of facing this problem. Even though there is 70% of Earth is covered with water, there is less than 1% fresh water that is available for us. The percentage is decreasing gradually due to the pollution that we are responsible for. The World Water Day has become an United Nations Observant Day in 1993 to seek the attention of global water crisis and raise the awareness of the 2.2 billion people living without the access of water. That's why today we are here to celebrate World Water Day with the objective of spotlighting the importance of water for public health, food and energy system, economic productivity, and environment, and the presence of the crisis of clear water and the sanitation, and to inspire and encourage young people on the action to tackle the water and sanitation crisis. Let's not waste any time. Now we will start the discussion, and if you have any question, you can use the hand raise option or leave the question on the chat box so that we can discuss it later on A and Q session. Now I would like to welcome Ms. Aditya John, who is an active student of North-South University in Bangladesh and Publication Secretary of Bangladesh Catholic Student Movement and a member of IMCS Asia Pacific Laudato Si Commission. Welcome, Aditya.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, can you share the screen first? Okay. So hello everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, from wherever you guys are joining. So I am Mr. Aditya John Rodrigues. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm the Publication Secretary of Bangladesh Catholic Students Movement. And I have been working for Laudato Si Commission of International Movement for Catholic Students, IMCS, Pax Romana, Asia Pacific. So, I'm sorry, the screen is not being shared. Cool. Okay. So today we all are celebrating the World Water Day. So happy World Water Day to you all from wherever you guys are joining us here. So water is often referred to as the elixir of life, right? And indeed, it has a significance which cannot be overstated. So it sustains the ecosystem, nourishes our communities, it powers our economies, but yet abundance of it, there exists a paradoxical reality. Water scarcity, pollution, and unequal access to this vital resource continue to challenge regions across the globe and different parts of the world. Today, I will talk about Bangladesh, the scenarios and perspectives of Bangladesh, my country. I would like to thank Bertha and Suman and IMCS Asia Pacific for giving me the chance and opportunity to present my country and the situation of my country to all of you. So Bangladesh is a country which has a rich tapestry of water bodies, most notably its extensive network of rivers. It's situated in the fertile deltaic region of the South Asian part of the world, and Bangladesh is often referred as a riverine country due to the profound influence of its rivers on every facet of life. The Gangas, Brahmaputra, and the Meghna rivers are the three significant big rivers, along with their other tributaries form the lifelines of Bangladeshi people, shaping its landscape, culture, and economy. These rivers not only provide vital resources for agriculture, fisheries, and transportation, but also serve as a source of inspiration, spirituality, and cultural heritage for the people of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a riverine country because Bangladesh has 907 rivers. I think you'll not believe in a country as small as this, of just 147,000 kilometers, there are 907 rivers. So Bangladesh has an abundance of water with around 24,000 kilometers of rivers flowing through its fertile land. Since it's occupying the low-lying floodplains and tidal plains, has one of the largest and the most disaster-prone populous deltas in the world. So we can say it one of the largest deltas in the world. Despite of having such a big abundance of water resources and or access to water, only 98% of Bangladeshi population is under, sorry, it's almost 98% of Bangladeshi population is under the basic water coverage, but only 58.5% has access to safely managed water. So there is a vast difference between the coverage and the quality of the water, right? We have access to water. We have access to a lot of water bodies. We have ponds, canals, we have rivers almost in every part of the country. But still we have only access to the 58.5% of water for which is for safe use. We need water for survival. We say water is life, but the water we can access can itself bring something difficult for us, which makes our survival difficult sometimes. We can see that 58.5% of the population have access to safely managed water. 15% of the population is under piped water supply, especially in the city areas, and 86% of the water of the poorest households' water contaminated with E. coli, which is not safe for our daily use. So what's the reason for this? What's the reason for this? We'll talk about it in my next few slides. The first and the foremost and the most common reason is the water pollution. So water pollution is a very common problem in all over the world, but not as big as it's in Bangladesh or India, maybe in the Indian subcontinent, especially in Bangladesh. I will talk about Bangladesh here. We can see in the pictures, right? These are the water bodies we have in the cities of Bangladesh, different cities and different rural areas as well. We cannot say that it's a water body because we can see just solid waste in the pictures. When some guests from outside the country comes in my country, they look for rivers to maybe hang out and chill, to spend some good time. But when they ask us that is there any river side where you can go to spend some time, we'd say no, there is no that good river here, because if you go there, you cannot spend a single minute because of that smell, that bad smell we'll get from the river water. We cannot stand for a minute beside the river. So that's the situation, that's the problem, and it has effects on aquatic systems. It has effects on the health risks to the human population. Consumption of polluted water can lead to waterborne diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, hepatitis. Long-term exposure to these certain pollutants such as heavy metals, chemical contaminants can also increase the risk of chronic illness, including cancer and neurological disorders as well. Pollutants can disrupt the balance of aquatic habitats. In severe cases, water pollution can lead to collapse of fisheries, loss of biodiversity, and ecosystem collapses. So what are the reasons for this water pollution? The first and the most common, common reason is the urbanization. As I said, Bangladesh is a very small country, but despite of having a very small land, we have a huge population, almost 17 million population in my country. So we have to give place for the people to live, and they all comes to the cities from the rural areas for a better living. So when they're coming to the cities, they need lands and they need to occupy lands. Since for that they are occupying the river areas, the riverside areas, they're building industries, factories, living places beside the rivers. And because of not having a planned sewage system or solid waste dumping system, all the wastes are going into the rivers, all the wastes are going into the water bodies. And that's the reason why actually the pollution of water is increasing day by day, especially the industrial discharges, untreated sewage, solid waste dumping problem. These are the main reasons for this water pollution. Okay. So next, another problem that's for which the access to clean, safe water is limited. It's a saline water problem. It's not actually the problem for the northern part of the country, but mostly for the coastal region of the country in the southern part. So saline water problem is a huge problem for us. And in the climate change-induced saline water institution has created a critical shortage of clean drinking water for 20 million people in the coastal of Bangladesh, especially in the Sundarban, Khulna, Bagerhat region in the southern part of the country. We can see in the map, that's the red zone. These zones of the country is actually in a critical risk of the saline water problem. And it says that Bangladesh stands as the 7th most vulnerable country to climate impact. Frequent floods, cyclones, tidal surges, and etc. affects freshwater supplies with deeply entrenched saline intrusion in coastal communities, leading to negative health and economic outcomes. So this saline water is creating difficulties in the daily life of our people, especially production of various crops has declined due to excessive salinity in soil. Women are facing great problems because women in the coastal plains living within 20 kilometers of the coastal line and 7 meters above the sea level where have 1.3 times more likely to miscarry while giving birth than the woman living in inland. So this problem is impacting the woman's life in the coastal region. Changes in river salinity and the availability of fresh water will affect the productivity of fisheries. It will adversely affect the wildlife habitats of freshwater fish and giant prawn. In the coastal region, the fisheries is one of the biggest source of economy for the livelihood of the people of that region. So it's being impacted because of the increase of salinity in that region. Another problem is we can see the surface water problems, right? Water pollution, salinity of water. We have another source is the groundwater, and that's not also even safe for people, the groundwater problem. We can see that the groundwater level is decreasing day by day. In case of the Dhaka city, the capital of Bangladesh, the drop rate of water level in Dhaka is consistent with the forecast made by the researchers decades back. From 25 meters in 1996, it dropped down to 45 meters in 2005 and 60 meters in 2010, and lastly 75 meters in 2023. So we can see that the difference is increasing, and it's actually a very alarming concern that the drop rate is increasing day by day. Besides, another big problem for Bangladesh, not only Bangladesh, in countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, China, this problem was alarming situation for last 20 to 30 years. In Bangladesh and India, we can see the groundwater arsenic contamination initially emerged as a major health issue. And later it came to be known as the worst arsenic affected countries in the world in terms of population exposure to the arsenic contaminated water. In different parts of our country, we have access to groundwaters, enough access to groundwaters, but those waters are contaminated by the arsenic. And we know the bad effects and side effects of arsenic. Arsenic is a toxic metalloid that can cause a range of health problems, including skin lesions, cancers, such as skin, lung cancers, neurological disorders, and many other problems. So this can also lead to severe health consequences and significantly reduce the life expectancies. So this have access to the groundwaters, but we cannot use that water because it's not safe. It's arsenic contaminated. So this is another problem. And lastly, water that we can see that another big problem for Bangladesh, and it's a very common one because for in every year, especially in the monsoon period, we can see in the headlines of Bangladesh that millions of people are losing their lands, millions of people are losing their homes. Many are dying because of one big problem, that's flood. Bangladesh is one of the most flood-prone regions. We are sometimes say we are lucky because we are covered by Himalayas and surrounded on top of us in the Indian border, but that's actually causing some problems. And that's the problem. The problem is the flood. So every year, millions of people are losing their lands, losing their homes due to flood, many economic losses. We can see that while floods are occurring, almost 75% of the country is less than 10 meters above the sea level, so it's very near to the sea level. 7% of the land of Bangladesh is made up of rivers and inland water bodies, so the inland water bodies are more than in other countries. 80% of Bangladesh consists of a huge floodplain and delta. It's the largest delta on earth, I have said it before. So in the summer or in the late spring, the snow melt from the Himalayas actually runs into the rivers, and that river line exits through the Bay of Bengal of Bangladesh. So that causes excessive flow in the rivers of Bangladesh. Another problem is the urbanization in built-up areas such as Dhaka. There are fewer places for water to drain. This can mean more water going into the rivers. And again, 80% of Bangladesh's rainfalls during monsoon season within up to 400 millimeter falling per year. And another big problem is cyclones. It's a cyclone-prone region. Cyclone from the Bay of Bengal cause a contribute towards the flooding every year. So these are the reasons why flood is affecting. We are being affected because of Himalayas on the top. We are being affected because there is cyclone coming from the south. So Bangladesh is always in a danger of flood, and we never know when it will come. It can come in any period of the year. So another problem is the floodplain of the Tista River, and which is actually in the Tista River is coming from the Indian border. So there is a Tista Dam in Indian border, inside the Indian border. So during the dry season, the dam is closed. At that time, the people in that region of beside the Tista River face drought, dry season problems. But when the excessive flow of the river starts, the dam is opened and the flow of water impacts the land in Bangladesh, and that causes a huge disaster. So these are the problems we can see, many of the problems. So we can profound the impact of water-related challenge in Bangladesh. We are reminded of the paradoxical nature of this vital resource, right? Water, which is supposed to bring peace, prosperity, and happiness to the lives of Bangladeshi people, but often it becomes a source of devastation and despair, taking away homes for millions and causing untold sufferings and loss. So in the face of recurrent floods, waterborne diseases, arsenic contamination, and other water-related crises, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by enormity of the challenges confronting us, that the darkness has a glimpse of hope, the resilience, the courage, the compassion of the Bangladeshi people. Because whenever a crisis is coming, we are holding hands together to support the people of that region, to go and help them, to take them out of that problem and help to manage the situation. Communities come together, extending a helping hand, sharing resources, offering solace and support to one another. It is in these moments of solidarity and collective action that we have found in strength, inspiration to rebuild and to have and to walk a path towards a brighter future. So let's us dare to dream of a future where water truly becomes a source of peace and happiness for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya, for your wonderful and informative sharing. And uh, if we have any question right now, we can ask Aditya, or we can also share about our water crisis situation and water problems in our country. So Aditya, there's one question
I
from
can say a question.
Pinoy. Oh, okay.
Yes, maybe it will be good to share on the government response. Yeah, government responses, as I have said, that since all the rivers are mostly coming from the Indian region, Indian part of the Indian border. So government is trying to do some policies and trying to create some pacts within the Indian government so that the control of the river dams in their regions is controlled, which will actually help us during to preserve or to save our country from the flood. And besides other problems like water pollutions, government is not actually directly being involved in the solutions, but we can see different NGOs and community workers coming up, and governments are supporting them wholeheartedly as possible to doing some cleanup projects. We can see some daily cleanup projects in almost every month, almost thousands of people coming together to do the water cleanup projects. In last month, I have seen almost 10,000 youths and 10,000 workers came together and cleaned a total canal. I have showed some pictures in that kind of canal they cleaned together. So government was always there behind them supporting, and government is implementing some policies as well also.
Yes, Juliana, if you have any question, you can turn on the mic and ask the questions.
Thank you. Thank you and happy World of the Day for everyone. I'm Juliana from Fatimura University, Indonesia. I'm really impressed with the sharing of miscellaneous and about water pollution. One, what was the most challenging time in Bangladesh? Maybe based on your personal experience. Two, have you tried to do any action to tackle this problem, either personal as university student or as part of Catholic student movement in Bangladesh? Thank you.
Okay, sorry, the network was not that good, so can you please repeat the question in the message maybe, because I was not clear with the question. Can anybody please repeat the question, because I didn't actually understand because of the network.
I didn't understand the first question, but the second question was, I guess, what we are doing as a student, student and the part of the movement, what we are doing to control or mitigate the problem, the water crisis problem.
As I have said in the last answer as well, because I have seen a lot of
First questions is about the most challenges of water pollution something. If I'm not wrong, yeah. The most challenging something. Maybe Juliana can share to the chat box.
Okay, as much as I understood, what are the steps the university students or the movement is taking? As I have said that, okay, the sheet update. Okay, what was the most challenging time in Bangladesh? Maybe based on my personal experience. As I have said, in each and every year, we face a time of the year where flood affects the country from almost almost a part of the country, maybe the southern part or the northern part. So that time is very challenging because at that time the price of goods increases. We have transportation issues. We cannot move from one place to another because a region of our country is being flooded. And that's a huge problem, economic problem, social problem, all kind of problems are arising. And many people are losing the lands. We can see every day many people are losing their homes, losing the lands, their agricultural lands. They're facing a lot of losses. So this is the most challenging period for Bangladesh. We face this thing almost every year because it's actually part of the nature. And what are the students doing, right? Have you tried to do actions to tackle this problem? Okay. I personally tried to take actions, not actually directly, but I tried to be a part of the relief team when the flood affects the country. From BCSM, Bangladesh Catholic Students Movement, we every year, whenever flood affects in any part of the country, we try to send reliefs. We go by ourselves in that regions, try to reach them out, maybe in the relief centers and wherever we can reach them. We try to give them foods, enough goods for next maybe 1 month or 2 or 3 weeks, and encourage others to do so. This is what we're doing. And in case of water pollution, we have taken some initiatives from our universities as well, some cleaning projects wherever we can see waste dumpings, which is not appropriate. We try to clean those areas by a group of people, making a group of people, almost maybe 100 to 200 people together. So these are some initiatives we have taken from universities in several times. And I have seen, as I said, that many NGOs are coming up front and this cause. Youth movements and other youth organizations are also coming together. I have seen a lot of examples in last 1 or 2 months that they have done a lot of cleaning projects all over the city, especially in the Dhaka city, because it's the most polluted and the most populated city in our country. I have seen a lot of cleaning projects by different youth organizations and movements together. Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe if there is any one of the participants who would like to share their experience or anything that happens in their own country, then I think it can be open for everyone. No? Or maybe from your side, would you like to share also from your experience, maybe? think there's one question in the chat box. Um, maybe the question from Michael can be open for everyone to answer the questions. Okay, not only Michael, there is also from Graziella. Maybe from Graziella, if you would like to share also from your perspective. Yeah, so I think there are some questions in the chat box. Maybe I'd like also to share, and there's interesting questions from Jubilena. Why we need to celebrate the World Water Day, and is it a must to celebrate? So actually, from my perspective, or what I think that before I used to think about like that, like we celebrate the day of the water, or we celebrate the day of like for example the fire, or like anything we celebrate that day. Why should we? But then I come to know that all on my experience also how we as a human being we really need the water, and water is like a part of our life, no? Like in our food, when we talk about food, everything that it's produced, it should be, or it will be being beneficial benefits in our health or in our body with the water. And when we see also in the perspective as an indigenous, or as an believers either in our religions, water is a play as critical or crucial role, an important role in those. So that's really important, and we come up to this day. I think I believe that as shared by Aditya about how water pollution that happens in Bangladesh, and there are some, I saw some of the participants also share about that it's not only happens in Bangladesh but also happens in other Asian countries because of the population, for example. So the life habit of of the human being, that they are not taking care about water, but then at the end they will need the water as a resource for their life. So that's what I think we need to celebrate to to raise awareness that water is water is one of our resources to live. So we need to always see water as a crucial and as an important thing part, and how we can it's what we celebrate language as what part of our essential in our life, and we see also water as part of our life. Yeah, I think that's from my side, based on my experience and my reflection as well about why do we need to celebrate let's call it the World Water Day. But if you have different thoughts about this, Jubil Lena from Timor Leste, you could also share about your idea. Yeah.
So,
Can I?
hi. Sorry. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
Raka.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
share.
No, no, you can go ahead so I can give any
Okay.
suggestion in here. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
would just
Berta.
like to share. I'd just like to share that why we should celebrate World Water Day. I guess World Water Day is a reminder for us that even though there is water everywhere, but why we are still facing water crisis. You know, it will remind us that why water there is not clean water, why there is this clean water for us, why people are dying due to waterborne diseases and from polluted water. I guess this day we are celebrating this day to remind us to use the water sustainably, because we have only less than 1% available water for our daily use. And 1% is not very much if we think. And yeah, I guess that's why we are celebrating the World Water Day, to remind everyone that use the water resource, cautiously. Don't waste it, and remind other people who are working in government or who are working in industries to use the water treatment plant or the waste management plant, and the uh, and the strong laws, make this laws strong, so that the management of water and waste is in that level that water is not polluting in the first place. Yeah, that's it from my perspective. I guess there was another question. What do you see peace for water? Today our theme was peace for water. For me, peace for water is the use of water in a sustainable way and proper effluent management, wastewater management, and waste management in urban countries, which is the main problem, or which are responsible for pollution of water and crisis of clean water. Yeah, for me, justice for water is the peace for water,
Maybe anyone would like to share? I think Jubilena, I think you would like to share.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for joining late. So I just want to express, because I also working with community or local community in my country, because sometimes we try to our people who we still have a lack of the knowledge about the issue that the issue that happens in nowadays. But in at many vulnerabilities community, so they said like, why you guys should need to celebrate like a international day or a national day about women's, about right, about justice, about peace, but uh, the problem still happens in their life. So why you guys don't come with the new vision or I mean like any solution that can become a benefit for their life. So that's why the question or the critical, like I've mentioned before in the chat box. So why we need to celebrate the day that we consider that the special day, because most vulnerability people still face and still become as a vulnerability. Even we have a big fighting or we struggle together, but we can't force people to have a I mean like how can I say, my English isn't good so I try to speak. So Mana Berta, can I speak in Bahasa or Tetu?
Yeah, maybe you can share in Bahasa.
Ya Mana, saya pikir karena kita bekerja sama community, so mereka selalu bilang, kenapa kalian harus datang untuk I mean like celebrate hari-hari yang kalian anggap itu sangat penting. Bahkan hari-hari yang kalian anggap penting dan menyelebrasikan itu, kita tidak bisa apa ya? How can I say, Mana? Yeah, so I think that's all. So Mana Berta, you can
Tetun?
help me to explain more.
You can say in Tetun, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, how nem tama mana how serviço comunidade sira no sira sempre dia então sabe ime cara que celebra loron sira ime sentir importante los, mas a minha nessa vulnerability no a minha bem marca la bela acesso à educação, lá ia conhecimento dia que nessa ime no a minha tem idane no idane ba a minha importante tamba e a minha memória loron ime sempre enfrenta problema né. Ia fatin barak ne bem uma comunidade barak sira bela retan acesso a bemos depois lá é a justiça babê, lá é a justiça ba sirnia direito rástico. Então, da ruma ita celebran sanita sa atu underestimate fali maluk sira selo. Tamba ia partida ita cheer fali ia maluk sirne bema ka sira bele sai husi sirnia problema ne rástico. So that's all, madam. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, I think the point is how the grassroots. I mean, we celebrate important days because we just put the dates as the important dates to celebrate, but they are in the grassroots. They are the one who struggle with that. They're facing that kind of problem, and I mean, every day that's like it's always being an important part of their life that like it should be not only one date or one day to celebrate like this important day, and they should not be coming to celebrate with us just because we make it or we take as an important days or to celebrate, yeah, for internationally. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? We have some Graziella. I think Graziella shared something in the chat box. Or maybe Aditya, would you like to share? some questions. So another thing is it's really important. No, I think as a reflection from Jubilina, since she is also working with the grassroots, with the community at the grassroots level, and those who live with the nature. No, so they feel. I mean, they used to struggle experiencing those problems, and then as an young people, especially for these days, I feel that it's really not I feel, I believe, and we believe as this IMCS also, how we still need to, what's call it, that's why in the beginning of the session Braka was shared about how we used to celebrate, make into the sharing like this as an young people, to make us more aware, to raise our awareness, because yeah, those in our life as in the grassroots or the community we do know, but those that have, I mean, used to stay in the city and get the floods, water pollution everywhere, it's, we still need to campaign, advocates, and raise awareness, and of course give them proper knowledge about how important the water, especially I think for this year, I believe for this year it's about the water for peace. No, based on my personal experience, how when I feel like everything in my head, like it's so burnout, like okay, I need water, and then water can make my body feel kind of feel peace, no, we feel calm. So that's, it's very simple thing to be understand about the water for peace from the individual, and how if it's the water in this climate change, climate crisis in this season, especially summer, during summer it will be very hot in some countries, especially in Southeast Asia right now, like in the Philippines it's really hot, like we are going to be burned, but then with some water or some especially also the plants that we put some water on them, they will be what's called it, grow healthy. And of course that circle, the cycle of how water gave the impact and benefits to our life. Yeah, I think that's from my side. Thank you. Aditya has also shared many of the challenges that happens, no? So it's really helpful for us to be more aware, like, oh my god, these all things happens. Over to you, Raka.
Okay. Okay, I would like to answer another question. I guess the question was from Juliana. Yeah, Juliana. And he asked that, I guess, have you tried to do any actions to tackle this problem, either personal as a university student, as a part of Catholic Student Movement of Bangladesh? And I guess there was another question about what is government doing, if there are any policies in Bangladesh. So to tackle the water problem, there are water pollution management, there are many policies, but the problem is there is also corruptions, you know. So there are many policies that the main pollution in urban area happens due to the industrial effluent, the industrial wastewater mainly, which is not treated. And there is a policy to have at least secondary, there are 4 steps of treat the water, industrial water: preliminary, primary, and secondary. So there is a policy to at least have the primary and secondary water treatment plan, but effluent plant. But the problem is many industry don't have enough money to have those plants plant, or they have the plant but they don't use it. they made the plan just to show the government when they visit that we have, we have the plan to treat the wastewater, but they don't use it because it takes too much electricity and they have to pay for the electricity. So they don't use the plants. And yeah, due to the corruption, even though there is, policies by the government, it is not practically used. And as a personal level, I guess personally we are trying enough to use sustainable, to use the water sustainably, for us not turn off the tap when we are washing dishes or brushing our teeth, and use less detergent when we are washing our clothes, or the cleaning agent we are using, use it as a solution, mix it with water, and do not use much, because detergent and the other cleaning agent are also one of the main pollutant that pollutes water. So yeah, and as a student, university student, and the Catholic student movement, we are trying to aware other people to about the water crisis. For example, this is one of the the webinar that we are doing today is one of the steps we are taking to aware other people about the water crisis. Yeah, thank you. If you guys want to share about your experience, you can share now. Raziela, do you want to share any?
না প্রেম খুঁজলাম চারাগাছ খুঁজছি আখিরে কোথাও নাই ওর আখিরে বাজার তামাতানো করে ফেলেছে প্রেম কি আলাদা কিনে তারপরে দিতে হবে হ্যাঁ লেমন টি করে দিলে তারপর কেমন হবে বাবু আমি ভাবছি জানো ওই ওইরকম ছবি না ওইটা ভাবছি ওইরকম করে না প্রেম কিনা লাগে প্রেম কিনা করে ছবি বানাই কিন্তু আমাদের একটা বড় বড় দোকান আছে ওদেরকে ছবি দিয়ে দেখানো হয় ওরাই যখন সেপারেট করে এগুলোকে তৈরি করে ওরকম দোকান চাই হ্যালো হ্যাঁ মাইনে কেন করি এই নয় আমার এক টাকা লটকে ভাড়া দিয়ে
Hello.
Hello guys, good night. Mana Berta? Good night.
Okay.
Can I share?
Yes, please.
Okay. Really, relate to celebrate Water Day. I think it is really important for everyone in the world to celebrate this day. But I think when we celebrate this day, but sometimes the rural community in the rural, they are also face problem about the access to the water. Relate to my municipality, Manaberta. In my municipality, Armera, banyak komunitas yang tidak bisa meski mereka di urban area, tapi tidak bisa akses for water. When they want to access for the water, they need to all mereka pergi jauh untuk akses water. Kalau di rumah it's really difficult to them to access water. It's for me in my house it is really difficult when access water. I think when we want to celebrate this day, we need to involve as a youth. We need to involve the government, government, youth group for environment to discuss about these things. That's why we celebrate this day, but we celebrate just celebrate, but we celebrate because everyone they can feel feel access to the justice of the water. But we celebrate this when we celebrate this day, but community in the rural areas they are not access for the water. I think this is really a big problem because during a long time I'm work a volunteer work next to community. When especially women with disabilities, when they are not access to the water, they need to walk in the long distance to the access to the water. I think it is really a big problem. We need to solve this problem, but in my volunteer organization, we do like uh, conservation water in the rural community, conservation water, and um, reforesting the forest. I think when we want to give as a youth, we give the solution, the reforestation uh, forest who can up uh, the forest can give the water, and then the conservation, especially we need to working with next to the community, and we give uh, together with them give the solutions to about what the problem they face, especially we working with the authority leaders. We can working with them to give the solution to this problem. I think to this to solve this problem it's not easy. It is really it's not easy to solve this problem. We need to work in together with the relevant parts like government authority and local authority, youth group, environment. We need to work together, make the network strong network. We research about the problem. Why community long time they are always face the problem about the water. We need to uh, uh, make the work together and make strong network. That's why youth group, activist youth group work in environment um, as a as a like guideline to government authority, local authority to make a change. This is my point, Mana. Thank you.
Thank you, Graciela. I think we are close to the end. Before closing the webinar, I would like to ask everyone to turn on their cameras so that we can take a picture of our webinar. Hello, guys. Am I audible? Can you please turn on your camera? Michael, Pinoy, Graciela, Pen, can you turn on your camera or react, please?
Mana Noviana? Mana Graciela? Videonya boleh diaktifkan? Ya. Jubilena, Graciela? I think others not. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. To you, Raka.
I think you're muted, Rafael.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Thank you everyone again for joining us today in the webinar on World Water Day. Happy World Water Day to everyone. And I hope we have from now on, we will try to find actions that can mitigate the water pollution. And oh, I have another. I want to share you guys something. Okay. So can you see the sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we also have a webinar on create happiness mindfulness tomorrow at 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Manila time. If you guys join us, we will be very happy. So yeah, please join us. And yeah, I guess that's for today. Thank you everyone again. Good night. Good night to everyone and goodbye. I hope we will see you tomorrow again in the webinar. So yeah, bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the chance as well.